Hey YouTube, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Roman, and listen, it's a lot of shit going on out here in this world, and so we are back with another crazy crime story. And these stories always remind me to be vigilant, watch my surroundings, and be careful who I involve myself with. So let's get right into this. Hey, so last Friday, a 21-year-old Joshua Scott was charged with capital murder in connection with 33-year-old Joshua Miller, who was an actual Lyft. I think it was Lyft. He drove for Lyft. And so what happened was Joshua, and it's so funny, both of their names is the victim and the criminal. The suspect name is begins with Joshua. So I'll say Joshua. One is Joshua Scott, the one who actually committed the crime, and the victim name is Joshua Miller. So I'll just say Scott Miller. So Scott actually worked at the Amazon fulfillment center, and he had, waved down a Uber, was it Uber or a Lyft he had held a ride via a Lyft on his mobile device, his phone. It's so weird. So, of course, like normal, the Lyft driver would come. And so in this situation, he told the Lyft, instead of going to that address, can you go to this address? And so the Lyft driver obliged. And I guess, he's going to get paid for the drive anyways. And I know sometimes that does happen. I'll say, I won't give a different address. If I do, I would change it on the app. But what I would say is, hey, instead of dropping me off down there, can you drop me off right here? So that would have been my first sign as an Uber driver. You're giving me a specific address instead of changing it inside the app. As Miller decided to, okay, oblige, I'll, take you down this way. Scott then decided to pull out a gun as he got to the address and told him to put a scarf around his neck. And so what he then decided to do was try to slash him while he's in the back seat, trying to cut him while he's in the front. And so a tussle pursued. So he's in the front trying to tussle with him in the back, and they're trying to tussle. So he takes the steering wheel and he drives off and ends up crashing into some structure. And so at this time, then, Scott actually takes the knife and stabs him some more. He has Miller go and clean the car off, get the debris off the car and clear it off and stuff like that. And so what he was trying to do was make it look like it was a wreck, a crime scene, and he got crashed and hit. So somebody came who was driving past to say, hey, what happened here? And he says it sounds like it was an accident. And the guy, as soon as the guy begins to call 911, he takes off and flees down the road. And so he was apprehended and, of course, caught. And I hope he gets life. The family released a statement just saying why that day, why that morning, why him, why an Uber driver. Their family is just struggling, trying to find an answer as to what motivated Scott to attack Miller. Me too. They said that he enjoyed the gig in the rideshare industry, saying he was one of the most popular and highly rated Uber drivers in North Texas, known for befriending passengers and writing songs on his ukulele. Everybody loved him. That's why he did it. And, my condolences and my prayers and the words of courage and strength goes out to the family, because I know this can be very, very tough to deal with, especially when you don't have a motive. Like, it isn't like he was robbed or anything like that. He literally was doing his job, and someone who has no sense at all cruelly and carelessly took his life and then tried to stage it as if it was an accident. I'm glad he got caught. That's the first thing. We're glad he got caught. He deserves, for this, he deserves the death penalty, but we know most states don't administer that. So life will do. And I think he'll get what he deserves when he gets to jail. I think a lot of times people who go in thinking they're tough realize that you aren't actually tough at all. You actually are weak as fuck. Like this right here, catching somebody behind you're not gonna be tough in jail. This ain't gonna be a story you're gonna be trying to go and tell somebody because it was a sneak attack. So you've already set your basis up, your foundation up. Amazon, they declined to make any comment except that yes, he was an employee of the Amazon. So I'm just thinking, like, how many times had he hailed a ride from Uber and Lyft, and how many times did he think to do this attack, and what made him decide to do it on this day and time? Was he, I'd like to know, did he get admonished at work? Did he have something going on in his personal life? Was he being, stalked, or, what was he? Did he suffer any mental illnesses? It just makes you wonder, like, what the freak is going on? To just and then to tell somebody to put a scarf over their face while they're driving you is a little bit like, okay, this man he's crazy. And I thought Uber and them had a special button for drivers to push when they're driving in case of an emergency that'll automatically like alert the local authorities that are by to come by and check out the scene. If not, Uber, Lyft, if you're listening to me, you need to set up that button for them, just like we have the button on our phones when we're sitting in the back. I think they need those protections as well, because as we can see, this is crazy. It's like this would never make me want to ever like drive Uber or Lyft. You know what I mean? I would tell people, like, if I retire and got old and had nothing to do, yeah, I would do this. Hell no, the fuck I wouldn't. No, I'm absolutely not. Unless I can drive and carry. Period. Drop down in the comments and let me know what you thought. Do you think that he deserves life? B, do you think that and I don't want to shift the blame or put the blame on anyone, but do you think there could have been like maybe some safer precautions from Uber? And I'm sitting there thinking, like, most of the Ubers that I've rode in during this pandemic have had like shields up, so it wasn't as easy for me to get to the driver due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So I'm wondering, like, why wasn't there any separating structure to separate them two? And maybe that's something Uber should consider. That's the question. Do you think Uber should consider adding additional protections in the car, on the app, to support and help protect some of these the gig share industry, some of these drivers? And so hit the like button if you care to do so, and please subscribe to the channel. And until next time, deuces.